There's there's a gleam, men. There's a gleam, and it begins right here, right now. I am your host, Mike Killy. I got Bonzo 1273 Mike Rostano stepping in for my dad right now, who happens to be out, not at home at the moment. So unfortunately, he couldn't join us. He's going to try to possibly join maybe a little bit later in the show, maybe dial in for a little bit if we can get him on. But Mike, how's it going, my friend? Oh, hold on, I got you muted. Hold on, there you go. Here you go.
Yeah, it's a good day to be alive, as they say. I I'm still feeling as confident as I was on the Wednesday show. I think the boys get it done today. It's got a destiny feel. I believe that, and I've been preaching it for 2 weeks, and I still believe it. And yeah, they get it done today. I'm feeling good. In the words of Bear Kincaid, holding on to my championship dreams.
That's right. Barry Kincaid with the big Feeling Dangerous video that dropped yesterday. So if you guys get a chance to go check out Bear's music, hit him up on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever YouTube, wherever you may see it, and also check him out on Twitter. Just look up Bear Kincaid. He makes the awesome theme song to the Brownie postgame, pre and post game shows, and we're trying to get him a little bit of exposure with our audience, with Brown's Twitter, etc. So check him out, Bear Kincaid. I will tell you guys, I'm feeling pretty good after watching the Ravens game yesterday. Watching them kind of uh, be average and below average. I mean, Tucker was missing kicks, Lamar's getting hurt, and the Bills look human as well. I mean, Josh Allen sailing bombs down the field 10 yards over his receivers' heads. I'm feeling pretty good. I I don't think that I think that it still is very disrespectful that we're getting 10 points in this game, even though it's away. I think a lot of the people betting are thinking that the Browns' luck is gonna finally you know dwindle out, and we haven't really earned it. And I think those are the people who haven't been watching this team all season. We've been watching every game, every play. We know who these guys are. We know what they're capable of. We know the amount of talent we have. We know the fact that we're getting all of our players back. Nobody's out with COVID, from what I understand, from what the reports are. Denzel Ward's playing. So is it going to be? I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think there's going to be lots of points scored. The Chiefs put up points. We put up points. We don't have the best defense. We certainly don't have the best defense against the pass. So there's going to be points scored in this game. It's just going to come down to who executes, who does the turnovers, and I think the three things is it's penalties, turnovers, and special teams execution. We hit those three things. I think we're good. I think we at this point we can bang with anybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you look at the injury report today. Sammy Watkins is out. We knew that a few days ago, and I mean, how typical for someone to talk smack yet again, and this time they're not playing. But you know, it is what it is. But he's out, so that helps the secondary. Schwartz is out again. He's been out for a while, but it's still big on the right side of their line. You talk about Edwards-Helaire is out, so that leaves Le'Veon Bell, which I think is a bonus for us because it's not like we're getting Le'Veon Bell of 4 years ago.
Right.
We're getting 2020 Le'Veon Bell, so I think that's a boost. And on the defensive side of things, Willie Gay's out, and I think that is a big a big thing for us on the defensive side of the ball. Linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
he's a solid guy for them, so that helps out our run game and the underneath passing, I believe. And then you said it best in terms of Denzel being back. I think the key to the game, especially with Hilaire out, is I don't think Denzel is going to be exclusive to Tyreek Hill. I think Mitchell will be on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think you shut him down, and it comes down to the underneath coverage and taking care of Kelsey. Again, I think we're okay from the running game standpoint, and I think Kelsey really for me is the key as to how this game is going to go. And then on the flip side, if you fast forward to getting this W this week and then going into Buffalo, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but hey, we're fans and we're allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you talked about it, Mike. I mean, we saw two teams last night that were basically, you know, and I believe you used this on the Wednesday show, like Rocky. They cut the Russian, and he was bleeding, and he's human, and I think those two teams are human. So I think if you get a chance to go to Buffalo, Singletary's a good back, but they just don't run the ball. And if you get our defense to the point where, we already know that you're going to be one dimensional, even though we've had our opportunities all year, I think that bodes well for us next week in Buffalo. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's sort of where I am at 105 or whatever it is today on game day Browns.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hurricane from down below. Thanks for the subscription over there on Twitch. Appreciate that. Fane Cook is over there. We got some guys in the house. Greg Tracy's back in the back. Greg Tracy's back in the chat. Back in Patreon as well. B Skrills, Next Gen, Baker, the touchdown maker. I saw Dan Schlegel is here. John Schlegel is here. Ara's in the house. B Black, Billy Reacts, Zach Herbert. Who else do we got in the chat right now? I want to make sure that everybody's being
Skrills is out there. I don't know if you called him out.
Hambone. Oh, Beast Grills. Okay, Beast Grills, Hambone, Mark Showens in the house. We've got Browns fan 1977, Cleveland BCI. I don't want to miss anybody, so keep chatting. We'll keep giving you guys shout outs along the way. Appreciate it for everybody on Twitch and everybody, of course, over on YouTube, which was the the mothership over there. And I'm rocking my Tim Couch number 2. I don't typically. I'm probably going to take it off for the game because it's one of those game ritual things not to wear a jersey during the game. But pregame, I don't think I don't have any. I'm not yay or nay on it. So I sat there and I was like, you know what? Today's going to be a big show. We're gonna have it's the biggest game of the season, obviously. And when I started off this YouTube channel, I started off with this Tim Couch jersey on, and it just feels right today. And then obviously rocking the Griswold Marty Schottenheimer remake Cleveland Browns hat as well, which the birthday
Beautiful
hat.
thing.
It's amazing. And I got to tell you guys, it's been a wild season. And Mike and I were talking about this right before we went live. But if we get through this game here today, who are, without a doubt, the best team in the NFL, they're reigning Super Bowl champions, and we're playing them in their house. And I got to tell you guys, if we get past this game, the team that I would want next is Buffalo. In terms of the team that I think that we could handle, I think we match up well against Buffalo, where if it would have been the Ravens, I would have wanted to beat them more to get into the Super Bowl. But in terms of who I think that we've got the best matchup, I think it is the Bills. And because you never know. I mean, Josh Allen's been unbelievable this year, but he's human. And, in Buffalo at the end of the season with weather, it could be whatever. It could be anything. We're used to playing in cold weather. I think, with Myles Garrett hopefully playing at his back to A level, Denzel Ward playing at the A level, I think we've got a really good chance. I think if we get past the Chiefs today, everybody's jaw is going to be on the floor going, hold on a second, guys. We're going back to the AFC Championship game now. Honestly, at the divisional round, there's no more messing around here. This isn't, hey, let's try to make the playoffs. This isn't, hey, let's beat the Steelers, our arch rival. This is we now have a chance, which we've only had a couple times in Browns history. This is now a historic season, right? It has been a historic season so far this year, no doubt about it. Winning 11 games, beating the Steelers, and to get into the playoffs, and then beating them at Heinz Field in the first round of the playoffs. It's been a historic year, but now we're looking at this going, we actually have a chance to execute, and stranger things in professional sports have happened. Stranger things. I was watching the Miracle on Ice speech this morning, the Disney version of it with Kurt Russell. There was that. There was. The Cavs coming back in their NBA championship. I mean, there are there are times when miracles do happen in sports. And, I was talking to my wife this morning and she's like, if you guys did go, the reality is it could be a miracle. For us, it would be the biggest thing in the world. I think it's takes the Cavs championship and multiply that by 10. And that's what you have. And I think there's going to be a heck of a lot of people watching this game today. If the Steelers game got the ratings that it got, now you got Browns Chiefs. So now you got the people that are the Chiefs fans, so middle America, and then you got the Northeast, who are going to be watching the Browns, and then you got the people that are looking at it going, hold on a second, can the Browns actually do this? Can they actually get to the AFC Championship? Can they beat Goliath? I guess we'll see. Baker is not afraid of Pat Mahomes. Baker's not intimidated by Pat Mahomes, right? I think the thing about the Chiefs are they're very well coached. They've got some of the best talent in football at the wide receiver, the quarterback, the tight end position. Those are the scariest ones, but they have talent all over the field. They've been there before. They know what it's like. We're playing in their house. There's a lot going on. And I think that, if I'm reflecting on it and going, okay, where do we, how can this happen? Like, what are the things that we have to do? We have to continue to build off of the last 3 weeks. We've been playing football. Our starters have been playing football. So we're tuned. And, we talked about this on the Wednesday show. I think that there's an opportunity here because Kansas City their starters haven't played in like 22 days. Think about this, guys. Just put it into perspective. When you take off, for anybody who's out there, any of the people who work in offices who take off for like the holidays, right before Christmas and then through New Year's, how hard it is, your first day back to shake off all the rust and get back into it mentally and physically. And that's what we're looking at with the Chiefs. If they come out red hot and they drive down the field and score a touchdown, just hold on because who knows what could happen. But if we stop them early and we score early and start putting up points, the last thing in the world they want is for us to get up to a big league. However, the Kansas City Chiefs are not the Steelers. They're not the Ravens. This is a team that can, if we get up by 35 points, this team can come back. They can make that happen. Max Nikolenko, what's going on, my friend? Welcome. Jason Stopar is in the house. We got a whole bunch of the Patreon guys. And by the way, guys, to support us on Patreon, you just go to Brownie Postgame or patreon.com/Brownie Postgame. You get your name down there in the bottom. Help us out. It's awesome. You can also subscribe over there on Twitch. Really easy. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. So you don't even have to pay anything, and it helps support the channel. We're going to be doing some giveaways as well. So we got the Sabo Apparel giveaway going on. What we're going to do in here in the pregame show, and we're going to do some stuff in the postgame show as well. And one other thing, just a good time to talk about some of the sponsors, some of the people that help us with the show. Schlegel Law, which is a law firm in the Columbus area, handling the greater Columbus area from all your legal needs, wills, trusts, evictions, all that kind of stuff. If you have any legal needs, John Schlegel's a fan of the show, diehard Browns fan, and a supporter of the channel. So give John Schlegel a call. And then also William Ali. So William Ali is a realtor in the Cleveland area. If you're buying, selling a home, his phone number will pop up here in a second. Give William a call. He's also supported the channel, diehard Browns fan in the Cleveland area. And it would be awesome if you happen to have any real estate needs, give William a call. Say you saw it on Brownie Post Game and bam, you want to talk to him. That would be awesome. Homage, Sabo Apparel, all those guys as well help us out with t-shirts and everything, who are somewhat affiliated with the show. So thank you to those guys as well. And then also follow Mike, Bonzo1273, on Twitter. Mike is one of the most active people in Browns Twitter that I know. And one hell of a great Browns fan. So that's why
thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
That's why we love having you on. In terms of the weather, what's the weather like in Kansas City? In KC.
I don't think anything to write home about.
1% precipitation.
Yeah.
It's not going to
40
rain.
Maybe.
Yeah, good football weather. Wind 15 miles an hour.
Which last night it was 18, and they were like, "Oh my God, the world was ending." Meanwhile, at home at First Energy like 25 miles an hour, and maybe we start getting a little worried.
Yeah, so the wind's going to be blowing a little bit. It's going to be blowing a little bit, so that could be a factor. But it's going to be a nice, it's going to be nice and sunny and 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 great. High of maybe cloudy, so it's going to be a little overcast.
Yeah.
But it's to be expected in the middle of winter in Kansas City, Missouri.
To touch on what you said earlier, which I still think is extremely a huge point, and I get Andy Reid being 7-0 after the bye week. I get it. But at the same time, like you said, we're 20 plus days from these guys, and these guys meaning the starters being on the field. So there's going to be some rust. I don't care who you are. 20 days, it's going to take you a little bit to get the rust off. Now, for some guys, that could be 2 plays, that could be 3 plays, that could be 4 drives. We don't know. But just like every record out there is a fabulous one in terms of 7-0 after the bye week, those records are made to be broken. And I personally believe, and I said this earlier, I think his record will be 7-1 at the end of this day. And we'll see. Well, obviously that's why they play the game any given Sunday.
Mhm.
But 2 points of housekeeping. One, I saw you, Gary Washington. What's up? And two, Max, I know on the in the appearance wise, it doesn't look like that. But I've got
There it is.
my GVR shirt on. I've got my playoff hat, rather, excuse me. I was going to put the hat on, but I'll be honest with you guys. I felt like I was having a good hair day. I didn't want to ruin it. So that's where we are with that. But um, with that being said, as far as actually getting into full garb, if you will,
Mhm.
I have a ritual. Actually, me and my wife do. So at home, when we're watching the games, if we're not there, it's the 15-minute warning. So it's normal attire until 15 minutes prior to the game. Then we get into our quote unquote game uniform, and then it's on. So for me, and it's been like this all season,
Don't
especially
don't
during
tell
the,
me don't tell me that you put on full pads with a number 31 jersey and a pumpkin on
you
your
know,
head.
I'll tell you what. If you want me to get crazy, I will go get my old Donzies from my parents' house, I'll shoulder pad up if you need me to. Uh, but the outfit of choice is the white Browns Baker away,
Okay.
the elf. I know you've seen it, the GV artwork where the elf has got the Indians gear and the Cavaliers gear. That's my underneath shirt with the hood. Then I've got my OBJ orange socks. Whichever Wherever we are and what pants we're wearing will be the deciding factor as to what shorts I wear. So again, we've got the orange pants on today, so I
Yep.
will be in my orange player shorts. And I'll be honest, we're all adults here. I've worn the same underwear for every game. We win, and those underwear get worn again. So,
But do you wash
and,
them or do you think flies are lucky?
and you know what? I've already thrown this out there on Twitter earlier today. You can't wash them. I know that it's not favorable, but
In
I
this
mean, if
in
you're
this
gonna,
in this this is COVID time.
I mean, if you are gonna stick,
Sanitation should be at forefront.
if you're, I don't go anywhere. We quarantine, so we rarely go out. But if you are going to wear the same outfit, you can't wash that shit
Yeah,
because if you wash it, you're washing away the good vibes.
you're right.
You can't do it. So I don't care if it's your drawers, if it's your undershirt, if it's your jersey. I'm here to tell you, you don't wash that shit. You put it aside and then you wear it the next week. And then that's why, in my opinion, here we are playing in the divisional round. You don't want to know why? Because I didn't wash my jersey, I didn't wash my undershirt, and I didn't wash my underwear. And that's where we are.
And you know what? If anybody out there has a ritual that they've been doing this season, for us to win 11 games. You better be doing that. Steve Hayslip, what's going on, my man? If you don't be the one that screws this up because you didn't do your ritual.
That's right. And yes, Max, you only wash if we lose, and you wash the bad vibes off, and then you start again.
And guys, how great will it be if we're drinking out of the Victory Monday mugs going into the AFC Championship game? That means one more game.
60 minutes away from that, Mike. 60 minutes. If I told you that back in May, would you have believed me?
8 quarters. We are 8 quarters away from potentially playing in our first Super Bowl. And I got to tell you, the only one I would say where we may not be, if we get past Kansas City and Buffalo, winning every game on the road in the playoffs, the only team I don't think that we would be favored against in the playoffs would be Tampa Bay because it's at home. But like I said before, this is a movie script that's been being written from the time that we went 1-15. That's when this movie script began. Then we went 0-16, right? So we drafted Myles Garrett. Then we drafted Baker Mayfield. We brought in Jarvis Landry. Now, my timing could be off there, but at some point, the timeline will be corrected. Nick Chubb. Then comes Kareem Hunt, right? Denzel Ward's in there, right? This core unit. The Hugh Jackson area, the Freddie Kitchen. Greg Williams, Freddie Kitchens, Kevin Stefanski, right? The story has been written. The fate, we just have to complete it for the miracle to happen. And you know, it would have been great to have Baltimore be the team that we beat in the AFC Championship game in Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl. While that would be great, it still would be 2 massive accomplishments, beating Kansas City, who nobody thought could be beat, and who was a favorite in the season, in Kansas City, and then go to Buffalo and go play in the tundra of Buffalo, and then come back down here to Florida, my home state. I will welcome the Browns in just like I did when they came and played the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've already planted the Browns flag on Florida soil. This is a Browns state, right?
Boom.
This is a Browns state, right? New follower K Burns. That's a new subscriber over there on Twitch. Appreciate it big time, K Burns 97. And I got to tell you guys, going into that Super Bowl, if it's against the Tom Brady led Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, I don't know. I don't know if you could write it any better, right? I guess I don't know. I mean, if you taking history out of play, and if they're just whoever it is just the final boss, can you go in and break your Super Bowl streak against the greatest of all time? I know I'm getting ahead. I know I'm getting 2 games ahead of myself.
You're allowed though. You're a fan,
right? You know, and this is what we've been doing all season, by the way. So this is not this. If we didn't do this, it would go against ritual.
That's true. Right? Very true.
We always look ahead. We always think, good game now, take care of business, on to the next game. The Browns look at it 1 game at a time, but we are allowed to look ahead because we're fans. We wear stuff like this, and it has worked. You're right. So I think people are saying, slow down, everybody chill out here. Apparently Jarvis has a new YouTube video. Apparently Baker had something on Twitch or on Instagram that he posted. So people are getting all excited about that. If you guys haven't had a chance yet to check out Bear Kincaid, the new video for Feeling Dangerous, that's up on Twitter. Check it out. I've retweeted it. So, if you follow me on Twitter, there's a good chance. Hey, new subscriber, Adrian. What's going on, my man? Adrian Malhairs, my man from India, coming through over there on Twitch.
Team. The World's team.
It is World's team, guys. It is 100% World's team. Appreciate the follow, my man. I got to tell you guys, it is, if you're a Browns fan and you've been through the bad, there's nothing that feels better than this. You know, we're one of the final, 6 teams to play? One of the final 6 teams to play in the NFL out of 32, where it's down to the final 6, and it's just about to be down to the final 4. We have a couple things go our way today, right? I think we have the offensive line at full strength. It appears, although Conklin was limited practice on Friday, if he was limited practice and he's up and doing stuff, he's playing, right?
Yeah, he's playing.
Unless
He's
there's some pre-game setback.
yeah, he's in the lineup and in Joku.
Wills, Batonio, Treader, Teller, Conklin. Boom.
Yeah, I mean you got the full complement. I mean and we said it on the Wednesday show. The Chiefs defense is not built to stop the run. They're barely built to slow it down. So if we get a good push up front, I mean, we should be controlling the tempo, the game clock, and running it down their throats. I mean, and that should be the game plan. I think it will be the game plan because you gotta limit how many possessions that Mahomes gets on the other side because as we know, I mean, respect where it's due. He's a he can burn you in 30 seconds. So
Mm-hmm.
it's paramount that we are able to sustain drives and run the ball. And I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. I mean, it's ripe for the pickings, as they say.
We have to be able to run for 30 minutes
Yes.
because they're going to have the ball for 30 minutes. So the defense has to be 30 minutes ready, and they're going to be running for 30 minutes because this is we have. I looked through our schedule. We have not played a team like this all year. Nothing
Yep.
even close to it. The closest would have been the Steelers, and you can't even make that comparison. The Steelers' offense is not what the Kansas City Chiefs are. This is the best coached team in the league, the most seasoned staff. Look at all. I don't know if you guys watched the game yesterday, but how many head coaches are currently in the league right now who
Yeah.
come from Andy Reid? I mean, Andy Reid has been there. He's been successful. He's won at every level. And if I was buying stock in a team early on this season, or saying I'm going to bet it on a team to win the Super Bowl, it would have been the Kansas City Chiefs. I think I've never seen a quarterback do what Pat Mahomes can do. He can literally do everything. He's like an Otto Graham type guy. He can run, he can throw, he has command over the offense. He's an unbelievable physical talent, and it's we're looking at the best in the league today, and it's not gimmicky. It's not like Lamar, where I thought it was so funny yesterday. The Bills did nothing but pass, and the Ravens did nothing but run.
Yeah.
So it was ice versus fire, coming right at it, and the Bills were able to do it. You put that game in Baltimore, who knows? Maybe it goes the other way. But those fans were up for it, and I think the Bills fans are dying for it, just like the Browns fans are dying for it. But I will tell you, we beat the Bills last year. Right? They're a beatable team. We I, the Chiefs are the one. The Chiefs are the scary one. But if we beat the Chiefs today, I think then we start to believe. It's not just beating the Steelers, not just beating a rival, it's beating the best. It's beating the best in the world. And that, everyone, is confidence that carries you on.
Hey, you want to talk about confidence and uh, just overall excellent news for the franchise, and we knew this, and you and I have talked about this all year. In the early stages of the Wednesday show, we were suspect. We were wondering if the Baker that we drafted was going to peek his head out and just go full speed ahead. And it seems at this point that he's got it. The old swagger's back. And according to Ian Rappaport this morning, there was a report out that the Browns have basically said that Baker has checked all of their boxes and look for a big contract extension in the offseason. So
Good.
they said that he is their franchise quarterback. And at this point, if you're out there and you don't agree at this point, I don't know what to tell you because he most certainly has checked the boxes, and there's no question as to him being the future of the franchise.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody else could be asking for at this point. I mean, he won 11 games this year with the new head coach in COVID time, with
Yeah,
all the guys who've been out throughout the year, playing through busted ribs and still being successful, not throwing interceptions anymore. He's gotten away with a couple, but every quarterback does. Every
yeah,
quarterback has it. And remember when we went through that streak towards the end of the year, it actually started with the Steelers game where how many of the balls were hitting our defensive backs right in the hands, right in the face, and they weren't executing on them. Well, that
Yeah.
all finally came back yesterday or last week when you get interceptions with Taki and Red Wine and Stewart. You starting to get these guys are catching balls like Porter Gustin with a diving interception last week, right? That means that's when everything's going in the right direction. I hope the Browns look at this as an opportunity. They don't look at it like it's too big for them. We have champions on this team. We have guys who have won at every level on this team, right? This game isn't too big for us. And I think that's the thing about Baker. Like Baker's played in the biggest stadiums in the world. He's played with the most amount of fans in the world in college and the pros. I look at a guy like Baker and I go, this is a guy that everybody doubted his entire life, right? He wasn't supposed to be the guy. He was probably not even supposed to be the guy in high school. You know, he wins that job. He is under recruited in college, goes to Texas Tech, walks on at Oklahoma, wins the Heisman, gets drafted first, sets the rookie passing record with a, in all honesty, a terrible coaching staff in a bad situation, and an organization that doesn't know how to win. Comes in, wins that game against the Jets, and I will look at it. And there's a couple games that I will never forget. I will never forget that Jets game. I will never forget that.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing that you were there, dude. Like, I think it's incredible. It's a historical game. I was watching it
Yeah.
with my dad, and I think that this last game in Pittsburgh, I was nauseous. I was crying. It was all the emotions, all the physical and emotional. Everything was coming out, and there's no more time for that anymore. It's not a time to cry. It's a time to believe now and execute now. And if we get the execution, any given Sunday, anybody can win. At this point, I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not betting on it, but I'm telling you guys, anybody can win. And we even have Chiefs fans that are coming in here. There's a guy, a Chiefs fan, who said, "Hey, may the best team win." I love it.
Yeah.
We have earned the respect at this point, and here we go, right?
And just to there seems to be a little confusion in the chat. Baker did not request a contract extension. Rappaport was reporting this morning that the Browns, as in their brass, feel like Baker has checked all the boxes. He's their franchise quarterback, and they will be looking to extend Baker past his rookie contract. So I just want to make sure that that's cleared up in the chat there.
And you know what? Talk about Baker. Talking about contracts, stuff like that. You talk about getting to your second contract as in a quarterback position like this, and when they say he checked all the boxes, if you go back and watch the Building the Browns when they extended Miles,
Yeah.
before the season, guys, it was the same thing. They're not going to wait till Baker wins the Super Bowl. They're going, we need to make a commitment to this guy now and say, this is your team. We mutually agree. There hasn't been any other quarterback in the last 20 years who've won 11 games for us in the regular season and then won a playoff game. This is the one guy who did it. The guy that we drafted first overall. And he's doing exactly what we drafted him to do. Now, is he throwing 40 touchdowns? You don't have to throw 40 touchdowns when you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. You don't have to do it. And in fact, if you are doing it, then you're misallocating your talent grossly.
Yeah, agreed.
So I don't think Baker's a game manager by any means either. I know earlier in the season it was looking like, hey, they've neutered him a little bit and said, hey, you're going to be a game manager. But these last couple months, like one interception in the past, since like October?
Yeah, that's the bottom of the list, by the way, and the bottom, and then the good part of the list, I should say.
Guys, it's unbelievable. It's refreshing to know that we didn't bust with Miles. When you go 1-15, you have to hit. When you go 0-16, you have to hit. And
God knows we've missed.
God knows we have. And there's a yin and a yang to everything. We talked about this on the Wednesday show.
Yeah.
When we were terrible and we couldn't hit anything, there was a team in the league up in the New England area that could do no wrong. with a guy they drafted in the 7th round, with a head coach who had busted out in Cleveland, you know, and they turned that into a dynasty. The 2000s era, early 2000s through late 2000s is this the last 20 years of the Tom Brady era, right? Yes, Aaron Rodgers won one. Ben Roethlisberger won two. Drew Brees won one. There are guys out there who won a couple. Russell Wilson won one. There's some
And
guys who
Mike,
won some.
your point is to piggyback along with what you're saying right now. If anybody in the chat or listening needs some more ammo to why we can win this game, besides the obvious that we've talked about all week, is the fact that I believe it was the 2003 2004 Patriots. That's the last time a team has won back to back Super Bowls. So, just because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year and they were the creme de la creme, as you say, um, that doesn't mean that they're an automatic roll through the AFC and off to another Super Bowl. So, just want to throw that out there in terms of stats. So, you know, just a little bit more fuel to the fire as to why, besides what we've already outlined, this is a winnable game, and I still believe they win the game.
Do you think the Chiefs, if you're a Chiefs fan, I'd love to hear this. If there's any Chiefs fans that are in chat, out of all the teams that were left on the AFC side, Buffalo, Cleveland, and Baltimore, what team would you want to play? Because if I'm
And
Kansas City, I don't know if it's the Browns. You don't want to
I
play the hot team.
I agree with you, and especially, I mean, if you look, I mean, you got Lamar, and I'll just throw this out there while we're giving some Chiefs fans, if we got them in the chat, to chime in. But I mean, you look at the Ravens. I mean, Dobbins has come on a little bit, but he doesn't scare anybody. The only time you're getting Lamar running is when they go off of that smash concept, and then you look at the Bills. I mean, they don't run the ball, and Singletary's good, but him and Moss, they're not studs.
Right?
And then you look at us. You've got the best offensive line in the league, PFF grades. And it's the first time, I think, since they've been doing grades, that we are the number one offensive line for running the ball and for passing the ball. And then you've
It's
got a
unbelievable.
hot Baker Mayfield. You've got receivers that have stepped up. You've got three tight ends that can all play the game and ball. And then you've got the two-headed monster of Hunt and Chubb. And I think that is the biggest fact of all as to
Yeah.
why, if I were the Chiefs and I had to choose a team, I don't think that I would want to play a Hunt and Chubb team with a top run offensive line in the league. That's just my two cents.
Looks like over on Twitch, fish_NA says the Bills would be the team that they'd want to play, and then Peyton Hall here in YouTube says the Browns because he likes the challenge. Uh, if I'm the Chiefs, I go, okay, well, who do we got? We got the Bills who've got it going on offense and defense, and it looks like they could be the new Chiefs. They're the new ones that the new hot team on the, you know, in the neighborhood. And
Yeah.
then you got the Ravens, who I think finally, if I'm a Ravens fan, and if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm looking and I'm going, look, guys, we've tried this. Lamar won a postseason game, but at the end of the day, the only way that they win, the only way they're capable of winning, is if they get ahead and can play with a lead or keep it very close. If you get ahead on them, like in the third quarter when the pick six happened, I was like,
Mhm.
it's over. The game's over. They
Oh
can't
yeah.
they can't come back from this because you're asking Lamar Jackson to do something that they do 30% of the time, and out of that 30% of the time, they do 50% of it okay. So you look at that, and then they weren't on yesterday. They're dropping passes. Mark Andrews was dropping passes. Their kicker was missing kicks. It was
Oh
not their
yeah.
day.
If they were playing us, Andrews catches that one that he had like four guys draped on him, and he gets the second foot in. I mean, that's just that's just how it goes.
100%. And
Yeah,
and Tucker makes every kick. You know,
yeah.
for
And
him to doink was like, I mean, this is
twice.
the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. For that to happen, you don't expect that to happen. And
Yeah,
then
and
Lamar to get injured. I mean, that's
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think they're talking about it in the chat, and I think that a lot of people, if you're not a diehard Browns fan, or even a more serious casual fan, you don't understand that the Browns have been playing with third and fourth stringers in their secondary, uh, off and on since the Jet game, essentially. So did the Steelers receivers have a field day in the in the last game of the year? They absolutely did. Did Joe Woods, scheme a great plan in that playoff game to keep everything in front and just let the clock tick? He absolutely did. But now, and I think it goes to the 1-0 mentality, the next man up mentality that Kevin Stefanski has brought to this organization, is that we were playing third and fourth stringers, but like I said, Kevin Stefanski, he drove this point home to these guys that it's next man up. No woe's me. If the top guy's down, then the next guy is going to step in and he's going to perform just as well. And you couldn't ask for anything more. We had third and fourth string guys at the secondary, and they took that mantra and they played. And here we are in Kansas City in the divisional round. Now, I mean, for all intent and purpose, we are at full complement. I mean, the only person essentially that we're missing is Ovi. And I know, OBJ, et cetera, but I'm talking about from the second half of the season on. Vernon is really the only guy that we're missing right now.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we're full steam ahead. So
And
I
you know what?
mean,
And Vernon, as great of a season as he had, and especially coming on late, when he was in with Miles' absence, Vernon turned into the player that we thought we were getting when we got him from New
yeah,
York finally. And
yep,
it's unfortunate that he's gone, but the thing is, there are games where he disappears, and I got to tell you, Claiborne's been playing uh, really good.
yeah, he has.
He's been playing really good, and Gustin has stepped up and been fine. You get an interception like that, you put pressure on the quarterback. I think that's the one thing. Give Miles a breather every once in a while, because he goes 150% every play. So we'll see what happens.
And
We'll
I got
see.
to tell you, Mike, not to interrupt you, but the inactives list just came in,
Okay.
and everybody that was questionable is playing today. There are no lineup changes, and your captains remain Baker, Miles, and Charlie Euclid.
I think I actually like that a lot. I know we talked about it on the Wednesday, but the fact that it's Miles and Baker, it is
Yeah,
their team.
yeah, I agree.
It's their team. The bottom line is it is their team 100%. And if these guys win, they're the captains. It's almost like, the team would have revolted if you would have made, you know somebody else the captain going into the playoffs. Would be like, those aren't the captain. The guy with the C on his jersey should be Miles Garrett and Baker Mayfield. But it takes a couple years to get there. Even though you might have been the captain before, it takes a couple years to really establish yourself on the team and be
Yeah,
comfortable to be that guy. And now it is what it is. And this is their team, and this is going to be their team for the next 10 years, because we extended those guys, and this is it. We've planted our flag, on the field, and said that's our quarterback, that's our defensive end, and we've built around them. We've given them the weapons. I think that we still have some opportunity on the defensive side of the ball to give a couple more weapons.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, we have a team right now. This team is in the AFC divisional round playoff. This
yeah,
team, and there have been weirder teams that have made it to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. And I know we're an offensive heavy team. I know we are, but it is possible. We just have to believe. And I think by beating the Steelers twice like we did, we sat there and go, hold on a second. All those players, the Nick Chubbs, the Kareem Hunt, the Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, these guys are this offensive line. It's not just paper champs. It's not just a Madden team. This is a legitimate team. This could go down as a historic team. I've said this many times. This has been the best season of watching Cleveland Brown. Every game has come down to the wire. Every single one. When they say cardiac kids, although they haven't been comebacks, they've been cardiac from the standpoint of just hold on, baby, hold on. But this has been it. And, you know, this has kind of been the season that we've waited so long this has been the season that we've waited for since 1996.
Yeah.
Since I was 16 years old. I just turned 41. This has been the team and the season that we've been waiting for. Now, if we lose today, let's play devil's advocate here.
Yep.
It's not a burn it to the ground.
No, it's a stepping year. I mean, if you go back and you look at the '90 Cowboys. Their first step, they won one game, and then they got. I don't even think they won their first playoff game. But then that next year, they built their legacy. So it's not a. If they were to lose today, it's. I mean, they're gonna bolster the defense through free agency and the draft in the offseason. And next year you're looking we're making a run. I mean, there's no bones about it. I mean, we're making a run right now, and like you said, we're playing devil's advocate here. The two of us believe that this thing's not going to be over after
Mm-hmm.
today. But
Correct.
if it were, we are on the way to where we want to be, and we're a few pieces away from being a perennial contender for a long time. And when was the last time we could say that?
The 80s.
Yeah. I mean, I had you speechless there for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I sat there and I was
Yeah.
thinking, well, no. What?
Yeah.
No, not the 90s. Yeah, the 80s. The Bernie Kosar era was the last time. And it's kind of interesting because when your comment about the Cowboys, it
Yeah.
seems like we're somewhat built, at least from the offensive standpoint, very similarly.
Yeah.
We have not one, but two great running backs. We
Yeah.
have not just one guy in the offensive line, but a complete offensive line.
It's uncanny, isn't it?
From the left to right. The quarterback, young kid, right? Young quarterback. The wide receivers. Do we have? I think OBJ probably would have been like the Michael Irvin, but the Alvin Harper is certainly your Jarvis Landry,
Absolutely.
and then you got the rest of the guys that are coming up there as well.
Higgins is like your Kelvin Martin. Yeah, I mean, you could go all the way.
Novacek with Hooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got the defense. There weren't a whole lot of guys on the defense that I remember from the Cowboys. I remember Ken Norton.
You had Ken Norton in the linebacker spot. You had in their heyday, you had the guy that came over. They didn't have anybody homegrown. Well, they had.
Was it Darren Williams?
I'm trying to think. They had Larry Williams on the outside with Kevin Smith, D-backs, but they had the kid from I think Miami on the
They didn't
on
add
the
Deion till
front
later.
line. Correct, but they went out and they got what's his name, the guy from the 49ers who wound up to do the. I mean, he was dominant, Charles Haley.
Yes,
So
they
didn't draft their miles, but they went out and they got Charles Haley. But it's
Darren
killing
Woodson.
me.
That's the guy I was thinking about.
Yeah, the safety, and I can't think of the interior lineman that's sort of like Sheldon Richardson that the Cowboys drafted. His name is totally. I think he was a Larry too, and I just can't think of his last name. But he was. Yeah, I mean, if you look throughout, there's some resemblance there. Rather.
Absolutely. And you know what? They went on a run. And the other thing that I think you can't, not just the players in the field, but Kevin Stefanski's like in his early 30s. Andrew Barry's in his 30s. Right? I mean, this not only represents a team of core players that are coming into their prime, that are getting playoff experience, that you can't buy this experience.
Yeah.
This is postseason experience for guys that are 25 and under. For the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, some of the guys on our offensive line, Baker Mayfield. This is Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, sub 25-year-old guys, 25 and under, who are getting who getting deep playoff experience in away scenarios. And you can't say enough about that. But then also you got the young coach, you got the young front office, you got an owner that is finally hands off and saying, I'm just going to let it go to the Ivy League guys with the big brains. Let them handle it. And it's just worked, which is
Yeah.
it's strange to say, but here we are. We have finally become from the yin to the yang. It's finally taken over. Now, is there going to be a dominant team in the NFL, like a Patriots team, that then would require a complete loser team in the NFL? I don't think so, because I think if you look at the Jaguars, who getting the first pick in the draft, bringing in a guy like Urban Meyer to coach, bringing in a kid like Trevor Lawrence is going to be there. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be a 1-15 team next year.
Yeah.
And the Jets as well, bringing in the guy from the 49ers and them getting an early draft pick as well. I think the Jets have an opportunity to do some pretty amazing things as well, especially if they trade back to somebody who falls in love with Justin Fields. So I don't know. It could be one of those eras where, remember after the Cowboys, the 49ers were in there, the Packers were in there. There were a couple teams that like really fought for the championship.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of teams that could fight for it. And I think that's the same thing that we're experiencing now. I don't think that there's one team that's going to dominate, but if there is, it's the Chiefs. They're the team that has been built for it. But the Browns, the up and coming team, the Bills, an up and coming team, right? But then again, and I know we talked about it before, and they showed the graphic yesterday with the adult table and the kiddie table. I mean, the NFC are a bunch of old guys, and the AFC, it might be harder to win the AFC than it is to win the Super Bowl. But I will tell you, there's a couple things that scare me about the NFC. At this point, Aaron Rodgers is playing at a very high level. Drew Brees with Alvin Kamara, who's capable of scoring 5-6 touchdowns a game, and Michael Thomas, right? So you have Drew Brees, again, Hall of Fame quarterback playing at a high level, and you can't discount that guy. And then you got Tom Brady, who could potentially be playing at home in a freaking Super Bowl, which I don't know if that's in the Super Bowl era. I don't know how it was done in the 70s, but when it started going to a neutral site. But I can tell you that in the modern football era, at least since I've been watching, it has always been at a neutral site. And for them to have the opportunity where they could potentially win get to the Super Bowl in their home stadium is insane. And what kind of a crazy advantage not having to travel that week of the Super Bowl, right? You're sleeping in your own bed. There's a lot of creature comforts that go into playing a home playoff game, let alone a Super Bowl game. So it would be wild to see that happen. But
hey,
who knows?
did you see the feel good story over there on Twitter?
Which one?
I don't know. I don't know if you guys out there, I'm sure you do, but Mike, you know the brown spider.
I do.
Well, he has been on a mission the past I don't know how many games, and my man worked until 8:30 yesterday in the morning. Got in his car, drove 12 hours to Kansas City without a ticket. He's been trying to find a ticket. He couldn't find it. They were still together in like groups of 2, 3, and 4. He couldn't find a single seat. And then I just happened to glance over on Twitter, and about 20 minutes ago, he had posted that a guy had an extra ticket and didn't even want any money for it, and gave it to him,
This is
and he'll
hard.
be at Arrowhead.
I
So
got to tell you, for all the super fans that are out there that dress up and do silly things, and I don't necessarily consider Spider one of them, although he does wear
yeah,
the kind of funny glasses. I consider him more of like a diehard fan.
yeah, I agree.
And a guy that is super active on Brown's Twitter. He posts great content, and he's out there, man. He is on the
Yeah,
road. He's
12 hours
dude.
after a shift at work.
It's that is a level of dedication that, you know, I saw a lot of the fans that were out there, saying goodbye, like as they're coming in from Pittsburgh, and then as they were leaving to go to Kansas City, and what that means to the team to look at
Yeah.
those people. I mean, here's the thing, guys. We're fans. We buy this stuff, right? We have an emotional connection that goes deeper than anything monetarily. The Browns players are getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to do this. The organization, the ownership in the organization, again, the Haslams have more money than they know what to do with, and it just keeps growing every day because they own all the truck stops in America,
Yeah.
right? They have more. It's not about money. It's about what we'll get as a fan base. It's something human that goes way beyond something you can buy. And I think that's the thing that we've been robbed for so long. And even in the 80s, when we had those amazing teams, for tragedy to continuously hit us. And you know what? I don't think it's going to be if we lose today, it's not going to be tragic. It won't.
No.
It'll only be tragic if we get up by like 40 points and then blow it. You know?
Correct.
But I will tell you, at the point when we played Dallas, they were from an offensive standpoint, those guys were no chumps. When we played Tennessee in Tennessee, those guys were no chumps. And although Pittsburgh collapsed at the end of the year, they were still 12-4 in the regular season.
Yep.
12-3 at the point when we played them last game of the season, taking care of business. So my point is, if we get up ahead, this isn't going to be the first time. We're going to know now how to do it. And running out the clock and really bringing in those two guys, the Mariano Rivera of our team is Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. You know what? Very good analogy.
Yeah. We have closers. And I think that's one of the things that last year and the year before that we struggled with was believing that we could close games. Getting up, getting a lead, or even if we're down by a little bit, and fighting our way back, and not giving up. If you really think about it, guys, you really, really think about it. The game that really put us into the playoffs, in my mind, was the second Bengals game, where with a minute 6, we didn't lay up.
Yeah, could have been a tragic game.
We went for the jugular. And Baker Mayfield and team drove it down and slammed the dagger right down in the middle of their heart and said, we are here. We are not going to lose to a team like this. We're not going to tie a team like this. We are a team who's destined for something, and we're not going to go down to these guys. And that's when I think they really started believing, holy crap, guys, we have playmakers everywhere. Hooper, Peoples-Jones, Higgins, the guys who aren't supposed to be the forefront, the superstars. Everybody's stepping up. That's the wild thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Donovan Peoples-Jones and you look at where he was drafted. I mean, Barry got a very, very good value pick with a lot of potential.
I mean, him, if nothing else, you take away the touchdowns. If nothing else, just fielding punts. Consistently fielding punts, not muffing anything, doing his job. Right? It's about doing your job today. And one thing we did very well last week that kind of gets overlooked quite a bit was the penalties. I think we only had 3 penalties the whole game.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I'm curious to see. The Chiefs are going to have some fans there. I'm sure they're going to be loud. So I'm hoping that the offensive line plays off their cues and limits the false start penalties, because I mean, for me on offense, those would be the killers, because then all of a sudden, depending on down and distance, that you get a couple of false start penalties, and now that might take you out of doing what we do best, which is trying to establish the run. So
absolutely, let's do a giveaway, guys. So for anybody who's new to the channel, we do a giveaway. When I type in chat, you put in a number from 1 to 100. Whoever gets closest to it wins a T-shirt from Sabo Apparel. So 1 to 100 now for Sabo. And you guys over there on Twitch as well, put in your numbers. 1 to 100 for Sabo. I'm going to put in my number right now. I'm not looking at yours. And my number's in. So whoever gets closest to it or hits it, you guys get it. And I'm watching in case somebody hits it because we have quite a few people in here. When you guys are done putting in your number, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel, please. Those are 2 things that I ask. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. So, and you get a chance to win a T-shirt from an awesome company. So, guys, thank you very much for being a part of this today. I know I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this one, no matter what. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it because again, because we absolutely can this time.
I'm excited to see who's going to win this shirt.
Yep, because I see some people getting really close to it, and I don't want to screw up from missing out on, because there's so many people in chat right now. I don't want to, because you only get a certain amount of chat that you get, and because then it'll go away. So I have the people that are close to it. There are some people, nobody's hit it yet, but some people are close. So I'm gonna continue it going till I see those numbers come out, and we will go from there.
When you say some of the folks are close, like a few digits.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to give it away, but yes, we have people that were close. And I'm going to let everybody continue to do that, but again, keep hitting that number. Keep hitting the like button as well. Let me see. As long as I see number, and you only get one chance. If you put in more than one number, you're out. Just so you know. I should have put that disclaimer in there. If you put in more than one, I'm not gonna allow it because I don't know if you did it more than one time. Yep, I already see one guy who's putting in more than one number who hit it, and he's out now because he's putting in multiple numbers. So you're done, dude.
Oh man!
If you put in more than one number, you're out.
Just like that, poof.
Correct. So I don't care.
Well, I guess we know who it was.
You're out. No, there's a bunch of people who put more than one.
Yeah.
So if you put more than one, you're out. I'm starting to see the names of some of these people that I keep putting in numbers. I'm like, I'm not gonna give it to you if I see it multiple times because that's not fair to everybody else. You put in one. You put in one number.
We need a sound effect machine. I think that puts it over the top.
Like a.
Yeah, like
or just some sort of music in the background that's playing during this. All right, guys. I think everybody's at this point had a chance to put in a number. The number was 2.
wow.
And so
I saw a 1.
Tasha's Take on Life had a 2.
Oh.
And then also I think Sleep YT had it as well, but Sleep YT put in multiple numbers, so
you know what? Talk about in plain sight, because I mean, the 2 was obvious because you're wearing the jersey.
And I typically don't do that, by the way, guys.
It was like a subliminal thing.
Right. That's what I would have done. I would be like, well, what could it possibly be? Right. So Tasha's Take on Life, you win. Tasha, send me an email with your name, with your address, a item from Sabo Apparel, and your size. Name, address, item from Sabo Apparel, and your size, and we'll get that out to you, Tasha. So congratulations on the win there. Guys, I know that we got quite a few people in here, and I appreciate you. Everybody hit the like button for me as well so we can get that, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube and on follow, at least at the bottom line, follow over there on Twitch. You don't have to subscribe, but at least give us a follow. And we're going to get out of here. so we can get ready for the game. Game's coming up here not too long. And I want to give everybody enough time to settle in, get everything that you need to get ready, maybe watch a little pregame and be at it. But guys, I appreciate it. Tasha, again, congratulations. Send me that email, browniepostgame@gmail.com, browniepostgame@gmail.com for the Sabo apparel. If she doesn't claim it, if she doesn't claim it, we'll give it away. We'll give away the shirt on the Wednesday show. So we will see you guys. Mike, any last parting words?
We're fired up. I know everybody in the chat's fired up, listening's fired up, you're fired up, I'm fired up. I've got a really good feeling. I'm feeling calm. I'm not as jittery and anxious as I was last week, and nothing changes for me. And if I look back here real quick, I
Yeah. What
think
was the score
that
prediction, by the way? Do you have that written down?
I have it down. So you were 41-38 good guys, and I was 37-34 with Parky nailing one at the end to win it. And I still feel confident, whether it's my score, your score, somebody else's score. I feel good that we are going to score one more point than the Chiefs will,
Yep.
and we are off to we're off to Buffalo.
I think you're right. I don't see us collapsing. I see us playing a very tough game today against a very, very good team. They're good on offense, they're good on defense, they're well coached, they're good on special teams. This is a very good team, guys. So we certainly have our match made for us today. But if we get past this one, then who knows? The light starts shining a little brighter at the end of the tunnel.
I agree. And to your point earlier, Mike, just to throw this one out there too, guys, like I said, I am extremely confident we're getting the W today. However, devil's advocate, if that's not the case, the post game show is still going to be one of the most positive post game shows that I think has ever taken place, because there's nothing but good vibes,
Yeah.
and 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 what we look forward to in 2021 is just something that we haven't seen in this city in a very, very long time. But with that being said, 34-31, your Browns.
Let's go, David Clee. Thank you for hitting that, saying that. Smash the thumbs up button, Browns fans. Everybody out there, I just want to say appreciate you. I want to say hi to everybody. Awesome, Mick Kickass, Antonio Arello, Greg Tracy, Mick the Dog, Browns fan 77, Max Nikolenko, Gary Washington. Um, every,
I saw my buddies Brian and Nick in the chat earlier. Shout out to those dudes.
Brian and Nick, Gary, all you guys, Mick the Dog, Mitch Cox. Let's go, guys. Appreciate and then everybody over there on Twitch as well. Fane, Coca, Adrian, Fish, Jonesy, Dynasty Boy. We had a bunch of people over there on Twitch as well, so good show all together. We will be back right after the game. I think I have it set for like 6:30. I think I have it. Whenever the game is over, we'll be here. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification so you know when we're live. Like the channel as well. I know I've said that many times at this point, but help us out, and we'll go from there. So guys, appreciate it. We will see you. Good luck, Browns. We're praying for you, and we'll see you after the game. Who knows? Could be good. Go
Go
Browns.
Browns.